Have you ever looked back on a time in your life when something did not work out the way you planned, only to realize later that what actually happened was far better than what you thought you wanted? That the road closing in front of you was the universe's way of protecting you from a destination that was never truly yours? Sagittarius, you are in one of those moments right now. Not everyone recognizes redirection when it is happening. Most people experience it as failure, as loss, as the universe being unfair or indifferent. But you are not most people. You are a sign that has always known, somewhere deep down, that the journey is wiser than the map. That the path you end up walking is often the one worth walking, even when it was not the one you originally chose. What is happening in your life right now, the things that have shifted, the plans that have not gone according to your expectations, the doors that seem to close, the timing that felt off, none of it is punishment. None of it is accident. It is redirection. And if you look closely, if you are honest about what you have been feeling and noticing, you will see that the signs have already been there. 10 specific signs that the universe is steering you towards something genuinely better. Not easier, not necessarily faster, but truer to who you are and what your life is actually meant to become. Sign 1. The things you were forcing have started to fall apart. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and fire signs push. You move with tremendous enthusiasm, tremendous will, and tremendous conviction that if you just try hard enough, the things you want will come into being. And that quality is one of your greatest strengths. But there is a version of pushing that stops being strength and starts being force, where you are no longer working with the natural flow of something and instead are working against it, grinding, straining, holding something together that wants to come apart. If you have been in a situation like that, and you have felt the particular exhaustion of forcing something that keeps resisting, then you have already been experiencing one of the clearest signs that redirection is happening for you. When the universe wants to redirect a Sagittarius, one of the first things it does is remove the ability to force. The grip loosens. The energy that was sustaining the push stops being available. The thing you were holding together through sheer will begins to show its cracks in ways you can no longer ignore. This is not failure. This is the universe giving you your hands back, asking you to unclench them, asking you to let go of what was never going to work the way you imagined, so that you can use that same energy for something that will actually flourish. The specific situations in your life right now where things are falling apart despite your best efforts, those are the breadcrumbs. The universe is leaving them to show you where you no longer need to invest your fire. Follow the release. Stop pouring energy into what is crumbling. Let it go. On the other side of letting go is the first step of the redirected path, and it is already waiting for you. Sign 2. Your gut keeps telling you that something is not right. You are one of the most intuitive signs of the zodiac, even though people sometimes underestimate that about you because of your outward enthusiasm and extroverted nature. But underneath all of that fire and forward motion, there is a very sensitive inner compass in Sagittarius. And lately, that compass has been speaking loudly. There is something in your life right now, possibly in your career, possibly in a relationship, possibly in the direction you thought you were headed, where your gut is consistently sending a signal that something is off. Not a minor unease, a persistent, hard-to-ignore sense that what you are moving toward is not quite right. You may have been trying to rationalize that feeling away. Sagittarius is an optimist. You want to believe in the best-case scenario. You want to give things the benefit of the doubt. And so when your gut says this is not right, you sometimes respond by trying to find an explanation that makes it wrong. But the gut feeling keeps returning. That returning is significant. When the universe is redirecting you, it will use your intuition to communicate clearly. It will send the same signal again and again until you stop dismissing it and start listening. The specific feeling you have been trying to silence, the one that says this is not quite where you are meant to be, that feeling is not anxiety. It is wisdom. It is the most honest part of you pointing at the truth before your thinking mind has caught up to it. Start listening. The redirection your gut is pointing toward is not away from something good. It is towards something better. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Sign 3. Unexpected obstacles keep appearing on your current path. There is a difference between obstacles that are there to make you stronger and obstacles that are there to stop you. The first kind is frustrating but surmountable. Every time you push past it, something in you grows. The second kind has a different quality. No matter what you do, no matter what angle you approach from, the obstacle remains. New ones appear even as you clear old ones. The path feels almost actively resistant, as if the road itself is saying not this way. Sagittarius, if you have been experiencing this pattern of constant, escalating obstacles on a particular path, it is one of the clearest signs that you are being redirected. The universe does not make the right path impossible to walk. It may make it challenging. It may require genuine effort and persistence, but it does not make it feel like you are walking into a wall every single day. When every step forward requires 10 times more energy than it should, when problems multiply faster than you can solve them, when the path consistently generates more resistance than momentum, you are being redirected. The obstacles are not failures of your effort. They are information. They are the universe's way of saying the investment you are making here is not going to pay off in the way you are hoping. There is a different investment that will. It takes courage to stop pushing against a wall that will not move, especially for Sagittarius, who is built to push. But the courage to change direction when direction needs to change is one of the most powerful forms of wisdom available to you. Look at where the walls have been consistent. That is where the redirection is pointing. Sign 4. Someone new has entered your life with a message you needed to hear. One of the most beautiful ways the universe redirects a Sagittarius is through people. Specifically, through the arrival of someone whose presence, whose words, whose energy, or whose story gives you exactly the perspective you needed at exactly the right time. If you have recently met someone new, someone who appeared almost out of nowhere, someone whose path crossed yours in an unexpected way, pay close attention to what they have brought with them. What did this person make you feel? What did they say that you have been turning over in your mind since the conversation ended? What did their life or their example reveal to you about the possibility of something different in your own? Sagittarius is a sign that is deeply affected by other people's stories. Your philosophical nature means you are always looking for meaning in what others have lived. And when the universe wants to redirect you, it will often send a person whose story is a mirror. A person whose choices, whose pivots, whose willingness to change direction illuminate for you what you have been afraid to do yourself. The new person in your life right now is not there by accident. They are there because you are at a crossroads. They are there to show you something. Not all of it may be comfortable to see. Some of it may challenge you, may ask you to reconsider something you thought was settled. But the fact that this person arrived when they did and said what they said is not coincidence. It is design. Let their arrival guide you. Sign 5. You have been feeling a pull towards something you cannot explain. This one is subtle, and it is one of the most important signs on this list. Alongside everything else happening, alongside the obstacles and the closed doors and the gut feelings, there has been something else. A quiet but persistent pull towards something that you cannot fully name yet. A feeling that something is drawing you in a direction, not pushing you, not forcing you, just calling to you with a gentle but unmistakable insistence. This pull might be toward a type of work you have never done before, toward a place you have been thinking about for no clear reason, toward a way of living that feels very different from your current reality, but also feels deeply familiar, as if it is a version of yourself you have always known existed, but never allowed yourself to move toward. For Sagittarius, this kind of pull is one of the most direct forms of divine guidance you will ever experience. Your sign is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and higher truth. When Jupiter is guiding you, it rarely shouts, pulls, it draws. It creates a kind of magnetic orientation in the direction of your genuine destiny. The pull you are feeling right now, however small or quiet it seems, is coming from that place. It is not fantasy. It is not escapism. It is the truest signal in this entire list of signs, because it is not pointing away from something but towards something. Follow it, even if it is only one small step in that direction. One small step taken in response to a genuine pull is worth more than 1,000 steps taken from fear or habit, or the need to appear consistent. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Sign 6. Relationships that no longer align are naturally fading. When the universe redirects your life, your relationships feel it first. Because relationships are the most honest reflection of where you actually are in your growth. And when you are growing into a new direction, the connections that belong to the old one begin to loosen naturally, without drama, without a defining moment of rupture. They simply fade. Sagittarius, if you have been noticing that certain friendships feel hollow now, if you have been seeing that conversations which used to energize you now leave you flat, if you have realized that some of the people you have been spending time with are no longer speaking to the part of you that is most alive right now, then this is one of the clearest signs that you are being redirected. It is not that these people are bad. It is not that the time you shared with them was meaningless. It is simply that your direction has changed. And when your direction changes, the people who are meant to walk with you in that new direction are different from the ones who walked with you in the old one. This fading of misaligned relationships is painful sometimes, especially for Sagittarius, who feels things more deeply than you let on. You do not always show how much connection matters to you, but it does. Losing it, even when the loss is natural and right, has a sting to it. Allow yourself to feel that, but also allow yourself to recognize what the fading is making room for. Because as the connections that no longer align quietly recede, the space they leave behind is already calling in the people who belong to where you are headed. The new connections are coming, and they will fit you in a way the old ones never could. Sign 7. Your creativity and inspiration have shifted to something new. You have probably noticed that the things that used to inspire you no longer spark the same fire. The ideas you were excited about before feel stale now. The projects you were working on feel like they belong to someone slightly different from who you currently are. And at the same time, something new has been catching your attention. New ideas, new interests, new creative impulses that feel alive and urgent in a way that your previous inspiration stopped feeling. This shift in creative energy is one of the most reliable signs that the universe is redirecting Sagittarius. Because inspiration does not lie. Inspiration is the most honest messenger available to you. When something genuinely lights you up, it is because that thing is aligned with where your energy is actually going. When something that used to light you up stops doing so, it is because your energy has moved on, even if your circumstances have not yet caught up. The new thing that is calling to your creative imagination right now, whatever it is, no matter how impractical or unfamiliar or different from your current path it might seem, deserves your serious attention. It is not a distraction, it is a direction. Jupiter, your ruling planet, loves to reveal new paths through inspiration. The enthusiasm that rises in you when you think about this new creative direction is Jupiter saying yes. This is it. This is where the expansion lives. Do not dismiss it because it feels new or uncertain. Newness is exactly what Sagittarius was built to embrace. The creative redirection happening in you right now is one of the most exciting things the universe is doing for you. Let yourself be excited by it. Sign 8. You are being asked to grow in a direction you did not expect. Growth rarely looks the way we imagine it will. We tend to picture growth as a continuation of our current strengths, a steady increase in what we are already good at, a deepening of the skills we already have. But real growth, the kind that expands the entire scope of a person's life, often comes from a completely unexpected direction. It asks you to develop something you did not know you needed. It calls you toward a capacity you did not think belonged to you. Sagittarius, the growth that the universe is directing you toward right now is probably not what you would have chosen. It may be asking you to slow down when you are built to speed up. It may be asking you to root when you are built to move. It may be asking you to go deep when you have always preferred to go wide, to commit fully to one thing when you have always thrived on variety and breadth. This unexpected direction of growth is not a punishment. It is a completion. There are whole parts of yourself that have not yet been fully developed, capacities for depth, for patience, for sustained focus, for emotional vulnerability, that are now being activated because the next chapter of your life genuinely needs them. The redirection you are experiencing is, in part, a call to grow in ways that will make you more fully yourself. Not less yourself, despite what the discomfort might suggest. More. Because the version of Sagittarius who has integrated these new capacities is a version of you that is capable of building and sustaining things at a level you have never previously been able to reach. Say yes to the unexpected growth. It is making you ready for something larger. Sign 9. Your old identity no longer fits the way it used to. There is a version of yourself that you have been presenting to the world for a long time. Maybe it is the adventurer, the optimist, the free spirit who never gets too attached, the philosopher who always has a perspective, the traveler who is always on to the next thing. These parts of you are real. They are genuinely part of who you are. But they are not all of who you are. And lately, you may have noticed that wearing those parts of your identity as the whole of it has started to feel confining rather than liberating. The story you have been telling about yourself, the one that defined who you were in your relationships, in your work, in your own internal narrative, is no longer fitting as comfortably as it once did. There are parts of you trying to emerge that do not fit neatly into the old story. Deeper parts, more complex parts, parts that want things the old identity was not supposed to want, like stability, like lasting commitment, like being genuinely known by someone. This is one of the most significant signs that the universe is redirecting you, because it is not just redirecting your circumstances. It is redirecting your sense of self. It is asking you to expand your identity to include a larger version of who you are. This process of identity expansion is rarely comfortable. It requires a kind of internal letting go that goes much deeper than simply changing your plans. It requires releasing the story. But what replaces it is worth every moment of discomfort. What replaces it is the real you. The one who is complex enough and whole enough to live the full life that is being prepared for you. Sign 10. Despite everything, you still feel a deep sense that it is all going to be okay. This last sign is the one that confirms everything else. With all the redirection happening around you, with all the changes and the uncertainty and the things that have not gone as planned, there is still something underneath it all. Quiet certainty. A calm that exists below the surface of whatever worry or confusion you may be feeling. A knowing that despite all evidence of difficulty, you are going to be okay. More than okay. You are going to be good. That feeling, that persistent underlying peace, is not wishful thinking. It is not naive optimism, though Sagittarius is often accused of that. It is something more. It is the deepest part of you recognizing the truth of what is happening. Your soul knows the difference between things falling apart and things being redirected. Your soul knows when destruction is actually construction. Your soul knows when loss is actually clearing space. And right now, the deepest part of you is calm because it knows. Even when your mind is uncertain, even when the circumstances look messy, even when the path is not yet visible, underneath all of it, you know, that knowing is the final confirmation that everything on this list is true, that you are being redirected for the better, that the universe is not punishing you or abandoning you, or setting you up for more loss. It is steering you, carefully, deliberately, with full awareness of who you are and what you are capable of. The redirection is not something happening to you. It is something happening for you. And the life you are being redirected toward is better, truer, and more fully alive than the one you were trying to force your way into before. Trust the knowing. Trust the calm beneath the noise. Trust that Sagittarius in the hands of Jupiter is always being guided towards something worthy of the journey. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Sagittarius, redirection is not the same as failure. It never was. The times in your life when you were redirected, when the plan fell through, when the path closed, when what you thought you wanted slipped through your fingers, those were not the universe failing you. They were the universe loving you enough to say, not that way. There is a better way. And now, looking back, you can see that in nearly every case, the better way was true. What you thought you lost was protecting you from something that would not have worked. What felt like a detour was actually the direct route to something more aligned with who you genuinely are. That pattern is not changing now. The redirection happening in your life in this season is carrying the same quality of wisdom and care that every previous redirection has carried. The 10 signs you have heard today are not random. They are specific to your sign, specific to this moment in your journey, And they are appearing in your life because you are at one of those genuinely pivotal points where the direction of everything that comes next is being set. What is required of you right now is not heroic action. It is not a dramatic leap or a fearless charge into the unknown. What is required is something simpler and in some ways harder for a Sagittarius. It is trust. The willingness to release the path you were on and look honestly at the one that is opening. The courage to stop forcing and start allowing. The wisdom to recognize that the archer's greatest power is not in the relentless firing of arrows but in the moment of stillness before the release, when the aim becomes clear and true. You are in that moment of stillness right now. The bow is drawn. The direction is becoming clear. What has been happening in your life, all the redirection, all the signals, all the gentle and sometimes not so gentle nudges from the universe, it has all been leading you to this point of clarity. The life that is waiting for you on the other side of this redirection is not smaller than the one you imagined. It is not a consolation prize. It is something that fits you in a way that what you were reaching for before never quite could. It is tailored to the real you, the full you, the version of Sagittarius that has grown through all of this exactly in order to be ready for what comes next. Jupiter, your ruling planet, does not redirect without expanding. It does not close one door without opening one that is larger. The expansion that is coming for Sagittarius is real. It is approaching. And every single sign you have recognized in your own life today is confirmation that you are right on track for receiving it. Stay open. Stay honest. Stay present. And above all, stay true to the deepest knowing inside you. The one that says this is not the end of anything. This is the beginning of the most aligned, most authentic, most alive chapter your life has ever known. You are being redirected for the better, Sagittarius. And the better is already on its way.